What's up guys, Houndish here, and today it's time for This Week at Bungie. And the highlights for TWAB this week include that Bungie have some updates for crafting. So they talk about some of their goals for crafting in Lightfall, but also some updates that we'll be seeing in Season 19, including crafting for weapons from Deepstone Crypt. So that's pretty cool, but they also give a heads up for Google Stadia players. They touch on a new patch that we'll be getting in the game next week. And then there are details about Prime Gaming loot and upcoming Bungie bounties. So we'll break it all down in the video. As always guys, I hope you enjoy this one, but without further delay, let's get into it. And so they start out by saying we have some fun news on deck for next season, and we're looking at some long-term goals that the team are planning to execute for Lightfall, and this is regarding crafting. And so initially they say, since the addition of weekly featured raids and dungeons for pinnacle drops, we've seen more players engaging with a variety of raid activities. And while an increase in power is always exciting, or even the fabled chance at a raid exotic, we're taking an opportunity next season to make your return trips to Beyond Light's Deepstone Crypt even more exciting. And so for Season 19, legendary Deepstone Crypt weapons can be crafted. I think there are going to be some pretty exciting possibilities there, and they go on to say each encounter has a chance to drop a deep sight version of a raid weapon, and players may purchase one per week from the final chest after defeating Taniks. And then when Deepstone Crypt is the featured raid of the week, encounter drops are uncapped, which means you can run a full raid and each encounter multiple times hunting for deep sight drops. And so sharing some of the mechanics with other raids there, in terms of how we can acquire the deep sight weapons, but obviously being able to farm encounters on featured weeks is going to be pretty awesome. And they talk about perk pools for the weapons, so when updating perk pools on older weapons, our goal is to keep the most beloved combinations and drop the rest to make room for new perks. And with Deepstone Crypt specifically, we looked for new perks that synergize well with the perks that originated with Deepstone Crypt: Reconstruction, Recombination, and Redirection. And so they give an example of something like Reconstruction and Focused Fury, or Fourth Times the Charm and Redirection. And then they say we also took the opportunity to add perks to weapons that have never had them before, and we've created quite a few new perks since Beyond Light shipped. So we're excited to see how players mix and match for their builds. And we get some more examples of possible perk rolls here, so things like Heritage, which is a slug shotgun with Reconstruction and Focused Fury, the Posterity hand cannon with Volt Shot and Rampage, and then Trustee with Rapid Hit and Incandescent. Those definitely sound very exciting, and obviously they're leaning into some of the more popular and exciting perks that we've had this year. So give us your thoughts about that. And they also said we've taken the opportunity to create a new origin trait for the weapons, Bray Inheritance. So it'll be interesting to see what that can do. But they finished by saying owners of Beyond Light can start crafting these awesome raid weapons starting on December 6th. And so let us know if you're excited to pick up any of those DSC weapons with updated perks and the ability to craft them in Season 19. Right here though, they stay on the subject of crafting, but we're looking more at how crafting will change with Lightfall. And initially they say that when crafting was introduced with Witch Queen, we were very excited to see how players would engage with the feature. That said, there are aspects that the team is looking to address, not only to address player feedback, but to improve crafting overall. And so initially for some of the pain points that they see with crafting, firstly, deep sight weapons are far too common, which leads to some confusion over their value and vault stress. To new players, it can be difficult to understand which weapons are actually craftable, but to an experienced player, deep sight weapons commonly end up in the vault simply for future currency, bringing more stress to the inventory management of the game. And then they highlight that deep sight weapons must be equipped for full currency extraction, causing friction with loadouts, which they say is partially a byproduct of the original multi-currency perk system. And while this is nice to have, we'd like for players to want to try new weapons for other reasons, not just to earn crafting currencies. They also say though that farming encounters like Shurichi is very efficient for leveling. While this can be fun for some, it's tedious and provides no useful benefits to the player or encounter, and there are no methods for increasing a weapon's level outside of equipping it. And so to address these points, the team is working on some changes with Lightfall. And because they're still working on them, they kind of give us goals here. So to reduce deep sight weapon hoarding, and the strategy is to introduce alternate ways to earn deep sight currencies. So we wouldn't necessarily need the weapons for that. They also want to look at reducing bad luck in weapon recipe unlocking, and the strategy is to provide opportunities within the crafting system to allow users to deterministically choose what weapon to target. That obviously sounds like a big positive. And then to reduce loadout stress, they're looking to reduce player incentives to equip a suboptimal deep sight or crafted weapon. And as well, to improve the value of weapon rewards from Master Raid content, they're looking to give new Lightfall Raid Adept weapons access to enhanced perks. So overall, those sound like good things for the game, and we'll see exactly what we get in Lightfall, but they finish by saying that starting in Lightfall, weapons that cannot be crafted will no longer drop with Deep Sight, which will help achieve the goal of reducing weapon hoarding and alleviate some stress on vaults. So players who have these weapons in their inventory right now should complete their objectives and extract elements before February 28th to avoid the loss of resonant elements. Of course, as I said, the objective was to add other ways to get some of those elements too, so overall, once again, I think these things sound positive, and give us your thoughts in the comment section. Here though, they do comment on Google Stadia, and they say with Stadia's recent announcement that they'll be shutting down, we've been working diligently to figure out a solution for players on the platform. While we don't yet have a long-term plan, we have a short one. So at this time, all players who have their main characters on Stadia should set up crossplay with another platform so that they don't lose access to their characters on January 18th. Stadia players who enable cross-save will be able to use their characters on linked platforms after Stadia shuts down. And they point out again that if players don't set up cross-save by January 18th, they will lose access to characters, items, Bungie.net accounts, and more. So for any folks who do play on Stadia, definitely check out the link to the TWAB below and take a look at how to set up cross-save. Next though, there will be another patch for the game next week, so that'll be Tuesday, November 1st, possibly some more fixes for festival related stuff in there. And they talk about workarounds for converting spectral pages in the TWAB as well. If you're still having issues converting those, they do say players should ensure that they obtain the Gone But Not Forgotten quest from Eva Levante in the tower, but also are wearing the Masquerader's helm with a festival mask. And additionally, players must have 3 free spaces in their character's inventory and have spectral pages in their inventory prior to entering the Haunted Sectors playlist. So a few things to bear in mind right there specifically, and they add that if spectral pages aren't converting into manifested pages after confirming the above, players need to clear their console or PC game cache, complete a strike, or obtain more spectral pages, and then complete a Haunted Lost Sector, and they say note that not all spectral pages will be converted into manifested pages. So a few bits of clarification and stuff to try if you're still having issues with that. And finally, there is a new Twitch Prime loot bundle. And so if you've got access to the Prime Gaming rewards right now, this month you can get the Concentric Dawn Exotic Sparrow, Woomera B5 Exotic Ship, the Adonis Exotic Ghost, and the Dual Legendary Emote. Details for all of that are in the TWAB as well. There's also a whole schedule of Bungie bounties that are coming up soon. Of course, there's a chance to grab the Bungie bounty emblem for the year. It's been a little while since we had any, so we won't break the full schedule down in the video because there are a lot of slots, but that's something else that you can check up on in the TWAB. For now though guys, give us your thoughts on the changes coming to crafting. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Plus, be sure to get subscribed for more Destiny content. Otherwise though, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.